Welcome back, guys, to the letter. It has been a while. Oh, I'm already tired. I haven't even started my day of recording. I have videos scheduled with Jester and other people today. Alright. Welcome back to the letter. I have no idea where we left off. We're still on Ashton's story. Really? Damn. Okay. I thought we had ended Ashton's story. When is it ever a good time for you? You're always so busy with everything now.
Now I find you here, sneaking out without even bothering with a proper goodbye. Not even a word.
My fault. My bad. Wait, was I sneaking? Oh, okay.
Really, I'm starting to think you're just keeping me around for my couch and my cooking.
That's fair. Honestly, Becca might have a point here, Ashton. You might want to walk in.
Becca, it's not what you're thinking. I wasn't planning on sneaking out. I was going to say goodbye. I just had to take this call.
You can't take these calls. Shut the fuck-a-rooney up, Ashton. Hold on, I'm gonna turn you down a little bit. Becca, it's not what you're thinking. I mean, it's just shut up.
Although, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Couch is great. 10 out of 10. Would sleep again.
Stop it with the jokes, Ashton. I'm not in the mood.
Yeah, Ashton. Her bitterness is not lost on me, but at this point, our friendship and our lives, how does she still expect me to answer that? What am I supposed to tell her now?
Are you still mad about last night?
She merely raised an eyebrow at me, which, to be honest, is all the response I need. Seeing her like this makes me believe those things Z-Man says, the part where Rebecca scares him sometimes. I've certainly seen this more than once already. But the familiarity of it doesn't really take away from the downhill turn this conversation's starting to take. Only an awkward cough serves as a way to stall.
Okay, of course you're still mad. But whatever happened last night, I really am sorry. I'll apologize as many times as you want. If you want, I'd even kneel or something.
Ashton, an apology is nice and all, but that's not what I wanted to hear from you today.
Alright, fine, okay. Where do you want to start?
Oh, I don't know. I've honestly lost track of it by your third trip to the buffet table.
I wasn't... The drive up there took a bit. Can you blame me if I wanted to grab some appetizers?
Oh, come on, Ash. For the whole evening? For the whole party? Please don't tell me that's all you did, because I've never known you as someone who pigs out. You even took great lengths to avoid me. Should I also mention how you ignored Zach? Sometimes I get the feeling you don't want to be seen with us in public. Some friendship, huh?
Why is she low-key tearing your shit apart, Ashton? Why is she low-key clocking your shit, bro?
You know it's not like that. It's never going to be like that, Becca.
I'll ask this again. Just what were you up to during the party?
Yo, not gonna lie, he was doing some really illegal shit.
What were you doing? You couldn't even take 2 seconds to make time for your friends.
He was investigating, bruh. I couldn't even look her in the eye. It wasn't that I wanted to avoid them. I did it to keep Zach safe, to keep Rebecca safe. Just in case. Client or family friend, it was still a party hosted by a person of interest, by a man accused years ago of murdering a person's wife to get what he wanted. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wait. Hold on. The Irving Guard Mansion. As we know, everyone who's lived in there, and the family and all that, they've died, right? You know that. Did he kill the last person who lived in there? Did he kill his wife? But then Chief showed up. Hannah Wright happened, and Luke Wright just can't be bothered to die peacefully somewhere. All of a sudden, none of my original reasons mattered. If I was found out right there and then and there, hell, if Zach and Rebecca's connection with me was found out, who knows what might have happened. But Rebecca doesn't understand that, doesn't understand what I can and can't say to keep them from harm. It's all in her eyes, in the tight line of her lips and her furrowed brows. The hurt. This day is just off to a wonderful start. First my case, now Becca. How do you even go about this? Stretch the truth. Obviously, I couldn't just say, hey, Becca, you know the rights? They're suspected to be ringleaders of a crime syndicate and shit like that. Protocol or otherwise, there are so many things I'm not allowed to tell the others. Even if I'm able to share information with civilians, knowing anything could very well put them in danger. That's why I keep it vague. Obscure the facts, and when push comes to shove, stretch the truth and lie through my teeth. It's a necessity I've grown to deal with. It has already become a part of me, no matter how much I loathe doing it.
I mentioned it, didn't I? I was there on behalf of someone else. I was on business, Becca. I wasn't there to have a good time.
She doesn't look convinced at all. Although she's the very picture of someone who's at least willing to listen, her glare effectively takes a good 20 of my current years. I feel like a kid again, being reprimanded by my junior high teacher for sleeping in class. But getting away with that is easier than with this one. It's this thing with someone you've been friends with for so long. They're the ones who know you inside out. Good grades wouldn't be enough for Rebecca to let this whole thing slide.
You can't even spare a single second to mingle?
What was I supposed to say? Hi, fancy meeting you here. Would you like to dance? By the way, those appetizers were really good. You should try some. I've got a boss guy breathing down my neck. I don't exactly have the luxury of doing as I please.
This much is true. My reasons for being at the party, too. However, Chief's presence last night made a lot of things difficult. Approaching them was out of question when there was someone watching, a person who knew the reason why I was there. Turned out to be a good call on my part. For someone who's already angry beyond reason, anything will only sound like an excuse.
Cut the shite. I saw you stuffing your face with the deviled eggs, while your own boss is off on the other side of the room. You didn't even exchange a word or a glance with him either. In fact, I think you're also avoiding the man.
I mean, she has a point. We kind of were avoiding the boss. We kind of were avoiding Chief, bro. We kind of were avoiding the Chief.
Just say you don't want to talk about it instead of lying to my face.
I don't want to talk about it. I do feel guilty. Still, we've already been down this road. This is something I've done so repeatedly in the past, something she's heard from me more times than all my fingers could count. Something I'll just have to get over with at this moment.
I'm sorry, you know that, Becca. I really, really am. I wouldn't do this shit if I didn't have a good reason to.
And you know that I don't like you lying to me. If you can't tell the truth, just don't say anything and shut your gob. I swear, Ashton Frey, you are just so dense. I'm so angry. I can't even bear to look at you right now because I swear I'll knock you right off your block.
That's crazy.
I mean, what good reason could you have to act like an antisocial asshole?
Pretty good reason. He's a detective.
The only time you did talk to me was to spout some vague nonsense about Luke. What was that all about? Were you somehow expecting me to just accept everything as it is?
You really shouldn't go near that man, Becca.
Why? Because you don't trust him? I wonder if you actually trust anyone. Aside from the three of us, Zach, Isabella, and myself, do you even have any other friends?
Damn.
If you're perfectly fine with that, then go ahead. No one is stopping you. But don't expect me to share the same views. I can have a life of my own. Friends that I don't necessarily share with you. I'm an adult, Ashton, and I can make my own bloody decisions. I sure as hell can choose the people I want to let into my life.
Of course she's allowed to do as she pleases. I never mentioned she couldn't. Us growing up together doesn't mean it always has to be just the two of us. It's a dumb idea to believe in when nothing ever remains constant. Things will inevitably change through the years. She'll make friends with people outside of our little circle. I'm just as free to form relationships with other people. But why, of all people, did it have to be with him? Why does it have to be Luke Wright? That guy is nothing but trouble. How can she defend a guy like that? She's already calling him Luke for Pete's sake.
I trust Zach, I trust Isabella, and I trust you, Rebecca. So why can't you trust me on this? You need to stay away from that man. Because he's... I really wish I could tell you.
what was that saying Isabella mentioned before? A liar is a brother of a thief. People who will look at me now will probably say I'm a hair's breadth away from being a criminal. Z-Man said something like that once a few years into our friendship. I laughed it off back then, but now they're probably right. Little by little, I'm becoming the very kind of person I hate. How ironic. Silence afterwards brings in an even heavier air between us. Sometimes that Rebecca, thankfully, doesn't allow to linger more than necessary.
I suppose you have to go now, huh?
Situation's already awkward as it is. Dragging this out will only make it more... what? Difficult? Messed up? As if it isn't already.
Back to your case again?
I have a case. I do have a case, and I can't tell you because police stuff is confidential. I don't really have to. I have no case. As far as the job is concerned, I have the weekend off until I have to report to Chief on Monday. Though I don't want to just throw in the towel on this. Orders are orders. This isn't like the movies. I don't get to say, back off, throw my gun and badge at him, become some vigilante, save the day, and get my job back. I'd rather get my ass thrown in jail than do any of that. But it's also not in my nature to sit still and do nothing. It'll drive me crazy if I just idle out. Besides, there's someone who has to know about this whole Luke Wright thing.
Yeah, I need to go talk to Professor Clark. And there's something else I need to look into.
Yes! Chat. I love this goddamn game, bruh. Though Ashhole is still pissing me off a little bit. I wish he would... like, I know he had the option... neither of the options really seem like tell Rebecca. They both seem like... either stretch the truth... yeah. The other matter she mentioned last night specifically. Things even the news have been blasting out to the general populace lately. Evening, afternoon, morning, all deaths with the same modus, blamed on a single serial killer. Yeah, it's how Rose died. Which BTW was some bullshit. Some absolute bloody bullshit. Bullshite, should I say. Chat. Also, I want y'all to be honest. Should I keep going with Battle Cats? I am obviously going to keep going with this game. No shite, but... yeah, no, I'm obviously going to keep going with this game, but... like... I'm watching the, sorry, I just accidentally opened the We Failed Miserably Roblox Land or Die video that you guys have already seen. Wowza. Alright, back to it. Or is it still the case?
Found dead in the early hours of the morning today. The fire was contained within the room and no other tenants were harmed, according to Luxembourg police.
We're grasping at straws as far as these murders are concerned. In the first place, I'm not even the one heading this investigation, yet look at me treating it as if it's another high-profile case on my shoulder. What if we burn the letter? I've said this before. I've said it before. What if we just burnt the letter? Would it go away? What if we tore the letter, burnt it? Like, what could we do? I mean, we could kill Luke Wright. Also, are we not going to talk about Marianne? Like, she is quite literally in a cell in Luke Wright's basement. I don't know. You need to do a full investigation on that house, and you're going to find Marianne's body. Also, I'm worried that something's going to happen to Isabella. I am. How sad is that? Although all three of my friends have mentioned seeing something strange, I don't want to go into that line of thinking for now. Not yet, not until I've exhausted every logical argument I could throw at it. To be honest, though, I don't know how to take all this anymore. And I've already given Isabella my word. It'd bother me if I didn't follow up on a promise I made to her. After Rebecca's claims last night, there won't be enough sarcasm in the world if what my friends have been telling me is true. I can already hear Isabella's laughter.
Figures. What else can it be?
It's not another case. It's something else. That issue Isabella mentioned yesterday morning. I'm sure you remember. You were there.
Well, at least you're not neglecting all your friends.
Becca, I promised her I'll...
She doesn't wait for me to finish. With a roll of her eyes, she turns around and shuts the door. I have no idea what I've said this time, but...
I probably deserve that.
Yeah. Yeah, you probably do. You'll just have to fix this some other time. By then, her temper's sure to have cooled off significantly. Hopefully. For now, I can't laze around. Gotta attend to things that matter more. Professor Clark first, deliver the bad news, then the issue with BRC and Isabella. Maybe I'll also drop by Zach's, check on him, hear what he has to say. He has also read that damn letter. I might as well, while I'm here, playing a paranormal detective, or was it supernatural? I can't remember. Whatever. I wouldn't hurt anyone if I tried to get to the bottom of this. If nothing comes out of this good, everyone could shut up about their stupid curses and can finally get back on track with our lives, onto more important stuff. If there is something.
Are you two done?
There's a moment of confusion when I don't see her familiar ponytail, but only find her standing around the door to her apartment seconds later. Isabella holds it open, though only slightly, as if to hide from anyone who might happen to pass by. This early and on a lazy weekend, I doubt anyone would. But from the gap and what little light there is behind her, I could make out the appearance of someone who has just clearly gotten off from bed. Hair in complete disarray, eyes still heavy with sleep, a small pout on her lips. She hasn't even gotten out of her pajamas. I look away long before my sense of decorum kicks in. We might be friends. I'll even dare say we've grown closer over the years, but that doesn't extend beyond the bounds of propriety. Christ, even Rebecca never greets early visitors in her sleepy clothes. Though maybe it's our fault why she's up this early. Still, heat makes a slow crawl up my neck, one that I quickly downplay with a solid cough.
Isabella, you're up early.
Lame.
No, I'm not. I'm usually up at this hour. You're the one that usually sucks at getting up early.
Says the person who looks like she's just fallen out of bed.
So the usual quip, she simply averts her gaze to some point beside her, and although it only flashes briefly across her face, an expression of hurt flickers in her eyes. It disappears the second she turns her attention back to me, but the moment has sent a worried twinge in my stomach. I've seen her on her plenty times before, just never in a manner that unsettles. It feels, I don't know, off this time. I didn't say anything wrong, did I?
Hey, are you...
Anyway, was that Becca with you? You both sound like Mama and Papa when they fight. You're awfully loud. If we get another memo from the landlady, I'm asking the guard to ban you from ever entering this place.
Me? Becca's the one almost shouting.
Yeah, well, she lives here. You don't. You have no excuse. You're the suspicious-looking person.
Thanks. Glad at least one person appreciates how I pretty up this place.
Don't flatter yourself. This place would be so much better without having to see your face every few days.
She follows it up with another pout, but her ruffled appearance, particularly how puffy her eyes are, I noticed how, just now, takes away from the intimidating effect she's trying to show. Really, right now she looks more like an angry puppy. I might have laughed had it not given me another nagging sense that something is definitely wrong with her. What, has she been crying earlier? That is worrying me. She rarely does that. The only time it happened, the one time I've seen her genuinely tear up over something, I think it was after Devlin Court, the night at the bridge. I wanted to ask. She seems determined to keep it to herself.
Belle, did something...
About yesterday, Ash. The things we talked about. Do you think we can take a look at it today?
We? I never said you're coming with me. Don't worry. I didn't forget about it. You'll be the first to know if I find anything.
No, I want to go with you. I'll be ready in a few. This won't take long.
Isabella, you really don't have to. I can handle it on my own. You'll just...
I won't get in the way, I promise. Besides, maybe I can help. You know, if there are files you want to check.
I don't like what she's implying. It's true, LPD is having a hard time with this. Taking Isabella with me is out of the question. Under normal
You're the one who's going to get in trouble if you do that.
You said it yourself. You need information. And I can help you get that. And it's not like it matters anymore. I just don't want to stand around doing nothing today.
There it is again. A slight shift in her eyes. The mild crease forming between her eyebrows and the mild slump in her shoulders while she crosses her arms tightly around herself. Like she's shielding herself from whatever painful thing there is out here. I have plenty of reasons why I shouldn't let her tag along. First and foremost, she's a civilian. Second, I have no concrete plan of action yet. I'm going into this blind. No matter how I look at it, it's simply better for her to just wait so she doesn't get dragged into what might be another one of my failures. Her assumptions might be a dead end for all we know. Seeing that expression on her, hearing her speak those words out loud in desperate, almost pleading tone, I can't bring myself to say no. So I give in, because right then, I see myself in her. The person who doesn't want to stay idle. Who doesn't want to think of the problems haunting him.
All right, 5 minutes.
What? You're timing me?
Well, I can't wait forever. I'm a very busy guy. 4 minutes and 45 seconds, Isabella.
I hate you so much.
4 minutes and 30 seconds, 29, 28. I'd hurry if I were you.
Ugh, you're awful. I hope you never get a girlfriend.
She slams the door right after, although my chuckles, the mirth, and the lightness in it linger. With her, those have always come easy somehow, even as if echoes fade and only the ghost of a smile remains.
It's not like I'm looking for anyone else.
That's true. I want to tell her. It's not because I can't. I won't. I'm the one who always tries not to until I fix myself, until I found myself underneath all that guilt and those lies I've been telling all these years. Because no matter how heavy the weight of these feelings are, I am not yet worthy of them. Of her. Until then, little words and gestures are the only things I can offer. Minor stuff such as digging deeper into things with BRC in order to ease her worries. Not even sure if this will give us anything. Unlike with the firm case, which I already have proper leads on, I'm just going by her word on this. Speaking of the Luxborn firm case, you still have to inform the professor. The apprehension's there for sure. I've made a lot of promises to the man. I would have preferred to tell him in person, not over the phone. But it's better for him to hear it from me rather than from a stranger. The railings offer a steady support while I wait for him to answer. I'd like to think I can do this without losing my nerve. My grip on the bar surely tightens though once the call connects.
Ashton! Not running today, Professor?
He's usually at the park on late Saturday mornings, as long as it isn't raining cats and dogs. Keeps him young and healthy, he says, and he's certainly fit for a man of his age with a sedentary job.
Oh, no, not today.
He's definitely at the usual place, though. Cheers and laughter, likely from children and families, filter through the receiver. Tend to avoid the park, precisely because of this. No use reminding myself of the could-haves when it's already over. Mom's doing well with her career. Dad's also fine. The last time I visited, although neither remarried, they're both content with their lives as it is. Probably the only one still caught up with it, hence my aversion. But all in all, it's still a pleasant sight to see, if you're the kind who takes joy in such sights like Professor Clark does.
Just thought I'd enjoy the nice weather before it takes a turn for the norm again. And to what do I owe the pleasure?
The guy certainly seems happy right now. In any case, I almost don't want to break the news to him. But it's better to get this off quick, as long as he doesn't shoot the messenger. He's not the type, however, long-held resentment can change a person, even someone as mild-mannered as a professor.
I was hoping to talk to you about the case.
I suppose I'm just a downer today. As soon as I say those words, he pauses and the lightness in his voice is gone in an instant. Every time we've talked about this in the past, he does that. He's probably trying to gauge the situation based on the tone of my voice. Perhaps it's a good thing I'm delivering this news through the phone. Who knows what he'll see in my face and my mannerisms. The art of keen observation. I learned it from the man. He probably already has an idea of what this might be about from my manner of speaking alone.
You aren't in trouble, are you?
For a second I hesitate, looking at the dirt beneath my shoes. But I manage. Eventually, after a long ragged road, Beth, I pick up where I left off, though still fumbling with my words.
Well, I'm in a bit of trouble, if you can call it that.
Ashton.
Kiara only assumes that tone when there's a reprimand at its heels.
But I'm not in danger or anything.
You've said that same excuse a million times before, Detective Inspector. That exhausted rasp in your voice tells a different story.
It's nothing like what you're thinking. Don't worry. I was taken off the Luxborn firm case.
I expect anger, frustration, maybe even disappointment. Well, it gives me the small sigh of relief.
Is that so? Well, at least you aren't in danger. Liz wouldn't be too happy if she heard you right now.
Liz, Aunt Liz, she insisted I call her, his late wife. Sweet-tempered woman by so many standards. They were never blessed with kids and contented herself with simply managing their bakery. But she's the closest I had to a mom in a few years. I'd known her, the professor too. My absence of my own parents in life, the two filled the ache their divorce left
Believe
in
me,
me.
you'd get an earful. You don't want to show up at her doorstep looking like you haven't slept a wink either.
How many years has it been since? 9? 10? I can still remember it vividly. Two men, primly dressed, briefcase in hand, a stern look on their faces. They were already frequent visitors to the bakery for a few months. Something about the lot being a prime property in downtown Luxborn. I think they were hoping to sell a deal with them, but neither of the couple gave in to their demands. Why should they? That quaint little shop was a dream for them. Aunt Liz sent me home early that night after a fruitless wait for the professor. The next morning, news of a bakery razed to the ground had spread across the whole city, one casualty. A few weeks later, the property was sold to Wright Enterprises. A fucking hotel now stands in its place. Of course, an investigation was launched after the incident. The name Luke Wright was briefly at the center of it, but with lack of any evidence, the case ultimately went cold. The professor hides it well. However, I can tell that he hates the man to this day. He might even blame Luke Wright for every tragedy that happens in the city. He's never blamed me, though, when I was equally responsible. It's been more than 4 minutes, Isabella. I knew something's off the moment those men stepped inside the shop. I could have saved her that night. I would have prevented anything from happening to her, called for help or whatever. I didn't. So it continues to eat at me until today. The guilt. The Luxborn firm case would have been our chance at reopening the old case. We could prove Luke right of his crimes. Instead, we're back to square one. Yet all he has for me are words of comfort. To think he can still be this concerned about me after my carelessness, after I've broken another promise a second time. People never cease to amaze me.
You might think that you have failed as an officer. Or maybe you think that you have failed me. And you know more than anyone. I would love to see that man taken down. If anyone deserves to be tried in high court, it's him. But I'm glad nothing's happened to you while you were working on this. That's what's most important. I'd hate to get news like that again.
Suddenly he stops. I imagine a thoughtful look flashing in his eyes as he thumbs the wedding band on his finger before he continues another habit. He has never removed it since that day. Has never thought once to remarry, even when he managed to continue with his life and return to some resemblance of normalcy. So, it wasn't one of the people in Urban Garden Mansion. He killed Professor Clark's wife. It's his way of honoring her. I suppose when he couldn't bring to justice the man responsible for his loss. Some people are just hard to forget.
It's not like another death. Yours or even his will bring back my wife.
Silence falls between us afterwards. I don't quite know what to say after that, really. Should I apologize, show some sympathy going into this? I should have thought of something other than just breaking the news to him. As it is, it seems the only thing we can do is feel sorry for each other's misfortunes.
I apologize, too,
for putting you up to this. On another occasion, under different circumstances, I might have accepted that, but...
You didn't have to, but you've already done more than any officer who has investigated this. So don't worry about this, old man. I know your department's people all have their hands full recently, too. What with the upsetting news we've been getting as of late? Deaths almost every day. I'm not entirely sure if that has anything to do with the other. It seems too big even for someone like him. But if this is that man's doing...
Professor, please.
Maybe if things around me hadn't started going beyond my control, the lair of the mansion, the supposed curse behind those, I'd still be quick to blame it all on the bastard, too. But as much as I want to keep holding him responsible for it, to add to another list of his sins, it might not be the case. Agreeing will only cut a deeper wound on the professor. Don't want him to keep clinging to this resentment for much longer. He has already gone through so many years of it. This kind of anger, it's the sort that blinds people. Despite his reassurances, the bitterness still seeps into every syllable he utters. The only thing for me to act like this, it's painful to watch someone I've considered a second father to go down this path.
Please don't apologize. It's really alright. I can try to get it back on Monday when I meet with the chief. No promises, but if not, I'll make sure to keep an ear out for any news. Chief said he's passing it on to a senior officer. I should be able to catch a few tidbits every once in a while. But I swear I won't just give up on this. I'll do everything in my power to get Aunt Liz's case reopened for you.
Promises, again, a bad habit at this point. I wish I could do more for him. All this time I've prided myself being the one to always know. Because suddenly, aside from Wright and the murders plaguing the city, I have ghosts and curses to worry about. Things that are completely out of my depth. Professor Clark's right in some way. Things would be so much easier if we just blamed Luke Wright for all this. At least finding evidence would be a breeze, and I'd be all too happy to put him in a place he belongs. Although if he was in any way also complicit to what's happening, legalities would have my hands tied. And maybe that's my fault. I might have missed the ticket to closing the case once and for all last night. If only I had done a better job during the party. But then the commotion. There was Hannah Wright and Rebecca distracting me from my purpose too. I'd include that gate crasher as well, even though it's only for a moment. So many things have gone wrong last night that...
This isn't a prank! I saw something! See? This is why I didn't want to tell you guys! It's not a joke! Will you guys listen to me first? I saw something in the house earlier. It stood right in front of me. If I hadn't gotten away, that thing might have...
Last night at the party.
But it's real! What do you think I saw? It happened after, when I was trying to get away. I almost got stuck in the same room with that thing. We're all in danger. I thought you were my friends. Why don't you believe me?
That woman.
Why don't we all calm down first? I'm sure Isabella has her reasons too. No.
Shit. If that was what Isabella had been warning us about, if it was the same thing Rebecca talked about last night, how many of these instances have I dismissed since reading the letter? How many have I ignored and passed off as some effect or fatigue or lack of sleep? Even last night, a hallucinogen lacing the food is the first thing I considered, purely because that's what my training dictates. It's a mindset I've grown used to. It's a setting the gears in my head automatically takes in a situation like that. Of course, I'm not discounting all of that yet until I have enough information, because to form something to form a conclusion from. Proof in whatever for it may come. But thinking straight is impossible when all of a sudden all your beliefs are being upturned in the most violent way possible at that. Jesus, I need a sounding board. I needed to talk to someone, and Zach's the best person for that.
I have to go, Professor.
Oh, no problem. But what are you...
I don't have time to stop and listen to what Professor has to say. I cut the call short. Kinda rude. Hashtag free Professor Clark. I don't have to stop. I don't have time to stop and listen to it. In the same second, Isabella emerges from her apartment, fully dressed and ready for the day. And as usual, she greets me with a smile. Hold on. I don't think I'm supposed to be... Guys, excuse me for 1 minute. I have to... I think there's something I'm doing wrong, so... Am I supposed to wear them like this? That feels more correct. I feel like I'm not supposed to wear them with the soles in the bottom. Guys, I have like these shoes that can turn into water shoes, and I actually haven't figured out. Because like you can wear them without socks, but I haven't figured out if when you wear them without socks, you're supposed to remove the heels, and I think you are. Because the heels are just ones that come out. So I think I'm supposed to when I'm wearing them without socks. Which would make sense. Sorry. As usual, she greets me with a smile, but it falls just as fast once she catches a glimpse of my face. Shame. That would have been the first comforting thing I see today. It annoys me that I'm partially responsible for the worried one replacing it. And that's it for today's video, guys. We just got a lot of lore. Alright. Let me just make sure it's all there. Quit. All unsaved progress will be. Let me just make sure it's there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Type B. Is that... Hold on. Now that I think of it, let me just go double check something. Because now that I think about it... Hold on. Two things. Now that I think about it, two things. Number one, did Saddam Hussein do 7-Eleven? Who is Saddam Hussein? What? Anyways, guys, I'll see you all in the next video. Remember to like and subscribe. Bye-bye, guys.